Good morning to all, and to all a good morning. My daughter says, Dad, don't smoke when you're doing them videos. Yeah, I haven't got it all figured out yet. Excuse me, between the coughing and sniffling and this weather is terrible. Anyway, I know that sniffling there is irritating. But anyway, one of the notes I wrote many years ago was on focusing. Focusing, can you focus? That's one of the notes I wrote there, and I'm at the Recovery Day Ottawa Treatment Center. Ottawa Recovery Center, yeah, for treatment for excellence and helping people with their addictions and using harm reduction. Oh, darn, cigarette's not out. Yeah, geez, I look snapper this morning. The video happens to look nice there this morning. Anyway, okay, so let's get on with it. I'll just go through the note, I'll read the note, and then I'll see if I can add anything to it. A lot of times I add stuff before the note, but okay. I know for some it's difficult to focus when you get overwhelmed with issues and problems in your life. For many, it's a torment of thoughts that won't leave your mind. Those problems or issues in your mind that you keep going over and over, round and round like a circle. Or like a racetrack, zoom, 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 and you can't find your way off. I know in jail, I said I wasn't going to ramble, I was going to read the note first, but I remember in jail I was up against some charges, and and I even went to see the psychiatrist, and I said, I can't get this off my mind, and it's just going round and round. Okay, I'm going to say this, I'm going to do that, and all along, all I had to do was submit and take ownership and responsibility for the actions I did, and get over it. I see so many people in jail that, well, they weren't allowed in my house and they didn't have a warrant and blah, blah, blah. Face up to it. You can't, you can't, how does Dr. Phil say? You can't change something you don't own. And if you don't own up to your wrongdoings in life and, make amends or, at least admit that you did wrong, then instead of making excuses, it's always going to be on the forefront of your mind. So, and that's part of the torment, and people that don't bring closure to their past and things that happen in their life, the wrongdoings they done onto others. It becomes a torment of the mind. Some choose to escape by using drugs or alcohol. I did for many years. Okay. Okay, on the next one. The next page are wet here. Come on. Had fun with my piggies and chickens this morning. As I was growing up, people would say I had a hard time focusing, concentrating on one thing or another at a time. Well, when it came to a problem, I became too focused, which caused all kinds of other issues, from anxiety, depression, and anger. I always just thought I was a person that could think outside the box. I guess sometimes I think so far out the box, I'm down the road and around the corner and up the street. But I still know where the box is. I can always go back to it. By using drugs or alcohol in an attempt to escape those uncomfortable thoughts creates a circle effect. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, you use to escape. But when the booze or drugs wear off, you need to use again and again, creating a circle effect. And there wasn't enough booze and drugs in the world that could bring closure to my past and my problems. I'm going to try a little experiment and see how long I can think about or talk about a raisin. I'm a real ADD or ADHD, or I'm just a person that thinks beyond the norm people think about. Okay, back to the raisin. I'm trying to think just about a raisin. I see the raisin. I can envision the raisin in my mind. I can see the texture on the outside of the raisin. It's wrinkly, old. The light shining on it leaves shadows, hills, and valleys. I know the raisin comes from grapes that grow on vines. The vines grow from the earth and are fed by the sun. They get their nutrition from the earth, and the sun gives them life. But cutting the vines to the grapes in time, the grapes dry up and turn to raisins. The raisins are harvested by a machine called a shaker. Then they are processed and packed and delivered to stores. At the stores you buy them. Open up the box and see the raisins and wonder the journey they took to get to you. Okay. The thoughts in your mind or the circle effect can be broken. Instead of using alcohol or drugs next time, try to think about a raisin or make up your own story. The key in breaking the cycle of addiction is breaking that circle effect of using, changing your thinking, changing your thoughts, thinking about something else. A distraction, I find, is, and many times, the first line of defense in that circle effect. Distraction, do something else. I know my girlfriend, she likes to clean, and that's a distraction for her. She just focuses on something else. Okay. If when you open up the box of raisins and wonder where they came from and how they got to you, and you're still thinking about using, start the whole process all over again and again until the craving or urge to use and escape is broken. I know my birth father told me years ago, his line of thought or way of distraction was in building a house. He'd start from the bottom, from the footings, the foundation, to laying the blocks, to framing up the outer wall, and go through that whole process in his mind until he was done shingling the roof. We can, whatever, if you're baking a cake or you're making cookies or whatever, go through that whole process of opening the cupboard doors and, getting out the flour or whatever it might be to stop that initial start of that vicious circle, that cycle of using. Go into more detail of the journey that raisin took to get to you. If you always think what you've always thought, you will always get what you've always got. Change your thinking. Well, that's my note for this morning, and I really hope people are tuning in and sharing these videos with others that may be having a problem or issue with substance abuse, addiction. Just want a better life and a better understanding. That torment of the mind could be anything. You may not even use to escape. It could be just throwing you into a depression, your thoughts, in that vicious circle of past events that's happened in your life that's causing you to go into the depression, that cycle of the wrongdoings or separation, divorce, or losing your children or kids. Focus on the things you can do and not all the things that you can't. Listen, I love you all. Have a great day. Social22 .com/road to recovery. Tune in and join in on my videos. Love you all. Bye for today.